Good morning. What is going on, guys? God bless you. Carlos here with Serranos Mobile Detail in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for joining me in another video. I am very excited because the rain finally cleared out. Well, I'm crossing my fingers that it finally clears out, but we have just some overcast for today. There's a percentage of rain. I hope it doesn't rain, but if it does, we'll definitely adjust, right? But anyways, we are working on this Mustang today. On today's project, it is a big one, lengthy one too at that. On today's project, we have to do a interior detail on this vehicle, and you'll notice the seats are pretty much, one of the seats are not there. This vehicle, the seats are unbolted already. Prior to the customer removed the seats or unbolted the seats, right? Second thing on this list is we are also going to be doing headlight restoration or fog light restoration, which they definitely needed as well. And lastly, on this project, we are also going to be doing a engine bay detail. So I have my work cut out for me, but I think it's definitely a straightforward detail. I'm very excited because I need to work. Phase one is going to be the interior. I'm very excited because on today's video, guys, we are going to be using Coach Kemi Polestar. Polestar is the recommended, I believe, interior cleaner for Alcantara, leather, plastics, vinyl. So that's what we're going to be using today on this interior. I was watching a video, I think Details was live one day on Instagram, and Casey from Coach Kemi was doing a presentation at one of their events, pop-up events, I believe. And Casey was talking about green is clean. So anytime I see green now, I remember the words green is clean. But Polestar is more of your dedicated cleaner. We're going to be using it with the IK sprayers. And I'm going to do about 1 ounce to a 32 ounce bottle. The tools we're going to be using, this is a part where I'm going to be very honest. Over the week, I think on Monday, we were using the air tool, and this whole thing like popped out. It literally blew off. So this one is trash. This one, the tube, right now, and I'm not knocking it down, but now this one is not spinning, and you can see that I try to really keep them maintained and clean, but the tube stopped working. And I don't know if maybe it's just the grease that they use, but I gotta order me another one because I really enjoyed using it, right? For the price, I can't complain and say like, now if it was like a Tornador and I paid like $200 plus for a air tool nozzle, or I think they're not even, maybe they're like $80, I think, for the one that looks like this from Tornado brand. But honestly, I can't be mad on the product. It did its job. It's worked perfectly for me, and for that reason, I'm probably gonna order another one. But we're gonna be using the Air Blaster Plus, which has been working perfectly for me. That one has rinseless product, and we're gonna be using the this turbo nozzle that I've been using to replace the Rag Company Air Blaster. So, and we're gonna be using as well as the For Real Pro 2 to vacuum all this carpet really well, and pretty much get this thing started. right, as we continue this project, let's talk about seat removal. Carlos, do you offer seat removal in your package? And the question to that is yes. I don't always remove seats, but when I do, or when you see me in a video remove seats, is because it's a really big project. The interior is probably really bad, right? There's a lot of staining under, there's a lot of dirt, there's a lot of, usually my seat removal is when I'm dealing with maybe an older model vehicle such as this, a heavily smoked in vehicle. I want to make sure that I fully clean everything, right? And one way to do that is removing the seats. Now, I don't recommend moving the seats because some people don't know really the seat removal process, right? You have, this was an older model vehicle, so you don't have to worry a lot about the sensors, the airbag. Nowadays, vehicles are coming out with so much technology that low-key, I'd be scared at times to remove seats, right? In this case, the customer ended up doing it on his own. He unbolted the seats, took them out, right? That is on his liability. Whenever I do a seat removal, the price is also higher because the liability is higher, right? You're dealing with, and some people have kind of said I'm overthinking it or overreacting, but you're also dealing with a life, right? You're dealing with life, because if you don't bolt these seats to the specs, and what I mean by that is these should always be torqued per pound to the specifications that they need to be, right? And if you don't have that information, you can find that on Google. You can find that, you can buy a manual for specific vehicles and you'll find all those specs. But some people just don't care and they'll take them off and they charge really cheap. You have to charge accordingly for seat removal because it is a huge liability. I do offer it, and I do let my customers know, like, I carry all the right tools to get all around your vehicles, right? But if you want it, it comes at a price. And usually the seat removal price is usually about $1,000, $500 more. Because again, you want to be covered on that liability. And some customers, they'll be like, man, that's crazy. I got a guy that does my interiors for like $100 and he takes them off. He never complains. Well, that detailer don't care about you, don't care about his life. He just cares about his money, and whatever happens to you, that's on you. As for me and my business, I want to make sure that I'm covered, and I want to make sure I let the customers know that I care for them and it's not just about the money. So if you're removing seats without charging accordingly, and you better have a proper insurance, because if one of these sensors blow up on you, yeah, it's about to be expensive. And before I start scrubbing and steaming all the interior, I want to go ahead and get my extractor already mixing my products. What you're seeing me put in my extractor right now is Flex Ice, which is going to be the neutralizer for my upholstery, seats, and the carpet. I have it, this is a, I believe it's a 10-gallon extractor, so I have it full up all the way. So usually what I tend to do is drop about like almost a full scoop. There's a line on it, so you can fill it up to the line. And then that's it. Now we're gonna start mixing the product. Turn my pump on. No heater, I just wanna mix the water right now. And then I'll probably turn on the heating element in a little bit. It's time to work. Humidity is escalating. So, and it's starting to get hot. So make sure, as a mobile detailer, you stay hydrated, drink a lot of electrolytes. I love this orange one. Of course, you already know why. When you're working on an older model vehicle, let's talk about kind of red flags or what you should look out for as a detailer. One of the reasons I like having seats removed is because I don't have to go and kind of drag my steamer all the way to this side. I hope you guys can see me. As you guys know, I really hate having stuff around. So, but anyways, we're getting carried away. As a detailer, you want to kind of always have an overview of the vehicle, right? For this scenario, I think this vehicle has been worked on prior. This looks like maybe the dashboard has been replaced. It's very loose, as well as some of the buttons are already very loose. So it's things like that that I look at, because I want to make sure I let my customer know, like, hey, I'm noticing all this stuff. You know, just want you to know that I don't want to be responsible for any damages, because it was pretty much already damaged. So always kind of look over the vehicle. This customer is actually out of town as well. But it's not the first time I've serviced him, so the trust is there to where he leaves his car unlocked for me and I just come in and work on it. I was reading Polestar and it also says that it leaves protection behind. So please let me know if that is accurate. Does it leave? That's what the bottle says, I think, that it leaves some protection. And it also smells really good, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, it smells really good. Now the Green Star smells like a APC. Polestar smells really good. Also, when you're dealing with older models, when you start steaming stuff, some of those plastics could turn white, and it's not your fault. It's just that it is so old. So I usually steam from far, because I don't want to activate the material from turning ashy white. So this car has been sitting for quite some time. And then I'll use these soft brushes. I don't want to do heavy agitation. As well, brush choices. Some people love to use more of the abrasives. I tend to keep it very fine, because again, I'm dealing with an older model vehicle. So what I don't want to do is I do not want to scratch it, damage it. So that's one of the reasons why I always resort to more of the least aggressive method for my interiors when I'm working with more older model vehicles. So I'm also going to bring the pressure down. Since we're dealing with these buttons are peeling off, that's why I brought the air pressure down, because I do not want to blow these buttons out. The steam is gonna help you with just removing buildup, right? And it could be a good method to use just steam only, right? But for this scenario, we're using a lot of scrubbing power to really remove a lot of grime. A lot of dead skin on this. Oops. A lot of dead skin. So we gotta just scrub all of this really, really good. Whenever you are cleaning the steering wheel area, turn the car on. By turning the car on, you have a free motion wheel. That way you're able to really clean everything nicely, and you can kind of see all your work to make sure that you got every area, right? So that's one of the reasons why I love to turn on the vehicles, is for the steering wheel area. You can clean it very, very well without fighting, if that makes sense. And all right, so before I continue to the passenger side, which is gonna be very quick, what I'm doing right now is, I don't know if you guys can see it right over here, I'm actually filling my Miralex pump sprayer, and we're gonna start so before I start cleaning the passenger side, what I love to do is my pre-spray. For our pre-spray today, we are using Flex Bio Brake, and we are using about a full scoop in the Miralex sprayer. You can do about a half a scoop, but this one definitely needs some cleaning, the carpet as well as the seats. Mostly, I think that's the passenger side. It's pretty stained up. So we're going with Flex Bio Brake. It's the perfect pairing for a vehicle like this. We are also going to be doing a heat extraction as well. So meaning I'm going to turn on the heater on the extractor to start warming up the water really, really well. And it's going to help me get a lot of this grime out. Better than the IK trash foamers. And this is all one take. One take. I have not pumped this sprayer. By now you probably be pumping your IK again. And some people will say, well, it's not foaming, it's not a foamer. It's alright. But just look at that. You be pumping your IK probably 4 times already. The Miralex, you might pump a little bit more, but you're gonna get a longer performance on your pump sprayer. It's one of the reasons why I say Miralex will always be superior on these pump sprayers. We are to the extraction phase, but before I start the driver's side, I've gone ahead and started my pre-spray on the passenger side. That way the product starts working for me, making my extraction way easier. So all I gotta do now is pretty much start the extraction phase. Quick drill brush, start the extraction. By the time I'm done here, I'll go to the passenger side and we'll pretty much condition it and clean the windows, and we'll go to the next phase. But quick tip, when you're doing your extractions, always start on your seats first. Seats first. That way, if there's any dirt on the seats, right, if you clean this carpet first and then you start drill brushing this, you're gonna get all the dirt coming down. So that's one of the reasons when I'm doing interiors, I start the seats first, because if there is any dirt, ooh, this one has a lot of good stuff. I'm excited. All the dirt falls down to the floorboard first, rather than you're gonna have to clean up after yourself if you do the carpet first. So seats first, carpet second, when you're doing a cloth interior. Time for the good stuff. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Yes, this looks like chocolate. Let me see if the camera can catch some of this. Check this part out right here. Man. One of the benefits of using the flex line, you know, many people ask me like, bro, why do you like using the flex line so much? One of the reasons is because one, it cleans the carpet so well. Like you don't have to go over it and over it and over it. It's also a one and done step. Like step one, pre-spray, step two, extract, and you're done, right? That's one of the reasons why I love it. So, and the second reason that I love using the flex line is because it has like color inhibitors, if that makes sense. Like it really brings the color out of your upholstery. Your reds, your blacks, like it makes it pop, like it, you know. So that's one of the reasons I enjoy using this kind of product. And you'll notice that this carpet just looks much more richer, much more darker. Even though it is an older model vehicle, the products work for themselves. They bring really the color out. So I love because it has those color inhibitors that will make your upholstery look fresh, will look renewed. So that's one of the reasons I love the flex line. What you saw me do right now is pretty much after I do my drill brush, what I'm trying to do is, obviously I'm using a clear nozzle with these holes, but at times some of the stuff gets stuck on there. So prior for me to extracting, I'll come back with a vacuum really quick and just on top of the surface, pretty much remove any of the major debris that were drilled after, right? Now I'll grab my extractor nozzle and now I can do my extraction without worrying about like, am I gonna have to get a lot of these big stuff out of my nozzle. And what I'm doing is step one is just, I have my solution on. The first pass is always with my solution on, as well as the heating element. And then I'll come back for my next step. And, ooh, wow. Oh man, we gotta get a shot of this. Wow. Check this side out. Ooh, man. Chocolate. So this backside here is where I think majority of the heavy dirtiness, contamination, buildup, it's all in the back. And this is one of the reasons, you know, that I'll remove seats, because sometimes you have to remove seats, or you know, the customers remove the stuff, it's okay. But All I gotta do now is just keep going over these areas nicely, slowly, to remove a lot of this dirt. And I'll show you in a little bit how it should look and how do you know when you're pretty much done extracting. Pretty much you saw this area here was full of just darkness. This is how you know when your carpet has been cleaned really, really good. Look at that clear water. All right, interior is finally done. We are now to the headlight restoration. And you're gonna see a quick picture, I think, or video of the after and the before. We're gonna make this light here look like the right side or left-hand side on your side. So we're gonna be using the Polywell kit. I have really enjoyed this kit for headlight restoration, and to get it to this condition, we're gonna go from 800 up to 3,000, and on this kit it kind of skips it by like halves. So we're gonna go 800, 1,000, then we're gonna go up to 2,000, 3,000, and finish with 5,000, the finest of the grit. You do not have to do all these steps. I tend to do it just because I want the best clarity, and I believe he pretty much replaced these headlights, so I kind of want to match as close as possible to the headlights. So I want to clean them out really, really well. They are heavily, there's time, and whenever you're dealing with time, it's a little bit harder to kind of make the, I think, fog lights, they call these, I don't know what they call these, center lights. But in this kit, it comes with everything you need to use it on a 3-inch polisher. It also comes with a faceplate that you can use on your drill brush. I don't like using the drill brush method just because I think it creates too much heat right in the middle. So we're pairing it with the Rupes. I may speed this video up just so I don't bore you, but it'll go by steps. So step number 1, we're gonna go 800, and then you'll probably see me speed up the video, and then we'll go to 1,000, and then 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000. All right, now we are to the polishing stage. For the polishing stage, we're going to be using a Lake Country wool pad, pairing it with the Coach Chemi H9, and we are going to do our pretty much our blending. And then I'm going to coat to the very end. After this phase, we're going to close everything and start washing the exterior as well as the engine. And at the very end, I'll come and do my panel prep and then do my coating on the headlights. Alrighty guys, this project is finally done. Overall, this took about 5 hours from beginning to end, from doing the interior, the engine bay, as well as the headlights. Overall, this thing, once it's clean, it turned out really well. So I'm very excited on the outcome, of course. The products that we use, obviously, on the exterior for the headlights, again, it was the Polywell sanding disc, and we did 800, 1000, 2000, 3000, 5000, and then we cut and polish with Coach Chemiline H9 for the wool pad, and F6 with the wool polishing pad, and they turned out really well, as you're gonna see as well. For the engine, we use a APC all on the engine really well, let it dwell, and then we kind of agitated it, and then we pressure washed everything. I always leave the engine on because I want the water to kind of disperse and not stay sitting in one area. And that's one of the reasons why I keep the engine on. A lot of people ask me, like, why do I do it? That's the reason, because I want the water to kind of stay moving. I don't want it to sit, right? Obviously on the intake, obviously just be very careful when you pressure wash that area. You can put a bag over it. For me, I just go around it, and I really don't do much there. For the interior, on today we use the Coach Chemi Polestar, and I gotta say, I enjoy the odor. It smells like lemon. I don't know if it's just me, but cleaned really well. And I guess as well, I think I read it also leaves a protection behind. So if you're looking for that nice neutral finish without having to put any conditioning, that would be your one, right? Great, solid product line, in my opinion. Coach Chemi has been one of my most favorite brands to use as far as polishing, but as well as on the interior, right? Really solid line. For the carpet and the upholstery, we did use Flex BioBreak as our pre-spray and Flex Ice as our neutralizer, which was in our extractor. We also used it with the heating element to really remove and reduce a lot of the staining that it had. The following clips are pretty much how this thing looked without the seats, and once we put everything back into place. The seats are not bolted because since I didn't remove anything of the seats, I will leave that to the customer. So the customer will bolt everything down to his specs. My job was just removing them and putting them back in there for him, and he can do the rest. Again, huge liability when you didn't do it. That's one of the reasons why I tend to not remove seats. But overall, this thing turned out really well. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we did talk a lot in this video, but I hope there was a lot of information that you kind of enjoyed. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. As always, God bless you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.